right, giant games, giant frame just went in the gate for me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Listen, it's either all or nothing at this point. Oh, and it's nothing at the break for a giant frame.
And guess who broke last?
And guess who's in last? Not. Oh my gosh.
That's great.
The one horse on the lead here early.
That's
okay.
fucking great.
Do it for Son. No, wait, what? Hey, White Abarrio was right where you want him, Somich. Look at that perfect stalking spot.
White Abarrio was in the spot you would have thought, but
yeah, baby, let's
not
go.
The leader you'd expect. Interesting, the blinkers off, and you end up with the one horse in front now.
Yeah.
And under a nice tight hold and seems to be relaxing pretty well. Galt is under Alvarado.
Yep, the 8 kind of wants to push the pace a little more than anybody.
I hate when the chicklets are wrong. I know it's a technology thing, but the fact that the 1's not even on there, it makes it look like the 8's leading this race.
Just watch the horses, Magic. Watch the horses.
Don't worry about the chicklets.
Oh, there's horses too. Okay, shit. I was just watching the colors. I'm just looking at the pretty colors at the bottom. All right, this makes more sense.
Giant game, Donegal, no excuses from there.
Yeah, Donegal's right where you want him to be in that stalking spot.
So is Giant Game. I mean, he's going to get a clean trip 3 wide. If he's good enough, he wins.
How about this 4? Not out of it.
Nope.
How much run does he have to use, though, to get there, though?
I think Gaffleone's got a lot of horse.
He hasn't asked
He's
him.
looking.
There goes Giant Game.
Giant Game's done.
He dropped a giant anchor.
Don't worry, the buffet's at the 8 pole, buddy. Buffet's at the 8
White
pole.
Abarrio, baby, come on.
Yeah, get her home. Come on, baby. Get this 8 home.
Giant turd. Come on.
Hey, Magic.
Come
you
on,
want a nice little high
8-4.
five for that draft pick?
Come on, 8-4.
He's just ignoring me.
Come on, 8-4.
8. Oh, Mo Donegal flying. Get home, 4.
285 per second.
There we go.
Okay, we'll take that.
Boom.
Yeah, baby. That's a good day for the Magic Mike team.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
3rd and 5th round picks, and oh yeah, baby. Just wait till Epicenter's back in the Risen Star. Woo!
Someone on
I
this
like
show
that.
talked a little smack about White Abarrio when we drafted him too.
That's true. Nice.
Woo! Yeah.
Listen, I'm happy as hell. I played the 8 over 4 exacta. I'm great. That's great.
I have
happy
some
for you.
spicy doubles going.
Listen,
if this one wins the last, I will be quite excited.
I'm gonna tell you something. The 4 showed me a lot in this race.
Yeah, the 4 ran really well. Simplification was the second best horse. Maybe was the second best. Like White Abarrio ran very well, and like he was loaded around that turn. Loaded.
I mean, White Abarrio was awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he wasn't the best horse. I'm
But the
just
4
saying
ran very well. Yes.
Simplification to do that was good, and Mo Donegal ran exactly like we thought he would.
Yep.
We'll look for him next out. I think the top 3 go on, and they're in okay shape. By the way, Giant Game, Tis the Bomb, 3rd to last, 2nd to last. Really shocking.
I mean, that's not even remotely surprising.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we talked about them missing the board. We talked about Giant or Mo Donegal, or I'm sorry, Tis the Bomb missing the board. And that again, it's head scratching why that horse was in this race. Like
Never 1 second did I think about Tis the Bomb being in the top 6 in this race.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry. It's like John is like an unbelievable person and a good friend of ours, but how we had him number 1 is just crazy.
That is a nice win there for White Abarrio.
Yes, it is.
Very solid win.
Good job, boys.
And White Abarrio came out a little bit on the break. It definitely hindered the 9, but that 4 just got the absolute worst of it. I mean, they just showing the break again, and he just, I mean, he's dead last behind a wall of horses for a horse that wants to be on the lead.
I thought the 4 probably was the most impressive there, for sure.
The 2 getting past the 1 here is brutal too, because that would have been the 8-4-1 try, which would have paid.
I don't do anything with Galt like moving forward on the Derby trail necessarily. I thought this was his kind of one shot to try and steal it on the front end. Do you guys have any? It was a good effort, but I think he's going to need late in his 3-year-old season, maybe as a 4-year-old is when he pops.
Yeah, I didn't love him here. He ran 4th. I think we kind of saw him. You said you had him 4th. I think that's kind of where you thought he would go. Maybe not take the lead and fade to 4th, but yeah, I don't think he's great, but he's not bad. He hung in there at least. Listen, I think these 3 horses that finished ahead of him aren't too bad. Like if Galt was up in New York today, would he have gotten second? Maybe up there close? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think got beat by 3 good horses today.
Yeah, I mean, this also just, I mean, I hate even saying it, but man, Smile Happy getting flattered left and right here. I mean, Giant or Classic Causeway runs big, and now White Abarrio comes back and wins this race. Yeah, I wasn't super high on Smile Happy, but with every race that's being run, Smile Happy's last race is becoming more and more impressive.
Well, when we drafted him in the Triple Crown Fantasy League in the 3rd round, a big reason Mike and I liked him is we both felt out of the Jockey Club that he was the 2nd best horse in that race, and he had kind of a shit trip. And we kind of had success drafting another horse that lost the Kentucky Jockey Club because of a shit trip, named Tiz the Law. He's not Tiz the Law yet, but I mean, give this horse a little bit of time, and I think he's going to really have a shot to improve.
I think this is interesting too. I'm gonna have to go back and watch Mo Donegal's trip because like 3 people have now commented that Mo Donegal had a terrible trip there. So I'm gonna want to go back and watch the trips here because you have the 4 who obviously didn't trip well, the 2 obviously didn't trip well. So this is gonna be one that we probably have to watch the replay a couple of times before we figure out exactly what you want out of here. Besides White Abarrio and the 4, who obviously you want out of here.
You got to be careful. I have not watched that replay, like you said. We just watched it live, but you got to be careful of those Mo Donegal kind of trip stories, right? Like the Pletchers that or not just Pletchers, but this case, like the horse, it's like, oh, well, he needs more ground or he needs a little better trip. It's like sometimes they're just a little bit slower than the rest and kind of be that horse that's going to finish 2nd and 3rd, no matter if they run 6 furlongs or going to, you know what I mean, run a mile and 8. So you got to be careful. I'm not saying that's him, but you got to be careful when a horse like that does like kind of that slow break, slow start, kind of slow running. And you're like, oh, if he did this, he did that. Well, I hate playing the if game. To me, the 4 was the most impressive horse considering the terrible trip and kind of the run. And obviously the 8 is, I don't know. You guys own the horse. So maybe to me, the 8 is good. I don't know how serious I take him like as a serious contender, but I do think given a good trip, he's going to be tough in every race.
He tripped out here, 100%. He also is that before all these horses won on the lead, this is the style of horse you wanted for the Derby. That tactical speed that would sit close and could pounce around the far turn. And that's what's so appealing about him is that he's quick out of the gate, but he doesn't need to lead. And so you're able to kind of get that middle ground where he can stalk behind a couple horses and then make a run. I mean, I don't know how big of a Derby threat he is either. I agree with you, Jared. I'm not sure like this is the best horse in the class, but today was a big time step forward over what we'd seen from him in the past. It kind of validates that idea that he can make his own trip as long as he gets out of the gate okay.
Yep.
You remember what Safi did, same trainer, Safi Joseph Jr. did with New York Traffic a couple of years ago, a horse that by breeding-wise, by cross-traffic, and the dam was coming from a sprint family, it was like, this isn't going to be a horse that can do that. But, you know, the horse didn't win a lot on the Derby Trail, but 3rd in the Risen Star, 2nd Louisiana Derby, 2nd in the Haskell, 2nd in the Matt Winn. I think you know if you get that out of White Abarrio as a bettor, as a fan, as a fantasy league owner, you got to love that.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes first.